I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I
Hello, my beautiful viewer. Welcome to Crypto Talk Show with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today, we are going to be talking about FIO. This project, FIO Protocol, has been trading on a down channel since 2021 to the fact that it broke the support that has been holding for a long time since the beginning of 2022. That was 0.08 and made its way during the crypto massive dump in May to the price of 0.036 range. Now the question is this project still holding? Now if you watch my last analysis, I talked about we actually recovering to 0.08, of which we have, but again the dump continues as it makes its way back to 0.04 range, right? So the question now is, are we still going up or are we still going down? Bitcoin Gorilla, what is happening? We've been stuck on a sideways since the recovery in May. But let me tell you something now. This is the daily chart. We're going to start this analysis with the 4 hours chart. Now, by the end of this video, you should be able to know if FIO is still worth holding for the rest of 2022. Should you buy more, especially the fact that it is still current trading at the lowest price it has ever gone since the first time it left the price range, right? So 0.055 is the current price of FIO. Is it worth buying more? Let's look at 4 hours chart and see what we have in store. So looking at 4 hours chart, we see that somehow we are stuck in a down channel, which has a strong effect on the entire price move of FIO. So we see this down channel, respect to the bears though, because they have really literally kept them all the way down. So we see this down channel. I have like 4 lines. Now this white one, this particular one, and this line tend to be where the real action is, like more like you see a sideways, right? Even though they are going down, there seems to be a little more price staying within this range than they stay within this range, the upper part of it and the lower part of it. This tells me that whenever price is within that range, there's a drag between buyers and sellers, so I should expect some sort of a sideways movement, right? And the reason why I'm telling you is we are currently trading within that range. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is that FIO is within a range and we need a breakout. But I tell you this, the bears are literally getting very weak. Why do I say they are literally getting weak? Because if you look at them, you see that they are planning, the bulls are planning to take the move up to 0.08 again, right? So the support of 0.046 was the last point bears was allowed to hit, right? So after the hit of 0.03, they pull up. So if I draw the new buyers line, I'm looking at the market structure. Why I'm saying this is, let's look at how it has been done in the previous part. You can see the last time they got into that area, they made their way back to this yellow line, right? So the first goal is we need to get to this point, right? That's the 0.08. We need to get back to it. But this time around, will they break above it or will they still get pushed down? Just like when they first hit the yellow line here, they got pushed down. Well, that's not the first time anyway. They've done it in the past like twice. If I scroll back, you can see it here. In fact, there was a fake out of that channel right here, right? The fake out here was very obvious and which ended up as a trap. But we can see that the same scenario, once they get in between the two white parallel trending down line with at the middle of the channel, you can see the sideways that prolong and they try to make their way back up. So this is what I am expecting. I'm expecting them to break this down channel like they did here. So in other words, let's go back to where price is currently trading. In other words, this drawing, this my yellow line here, is forecasting that a move up is coming. But first of all, we have to get through the sideways we are on, right? First of all, we need a breakout. And the first thing is they will first of all get above the white line. So probably we will see FIOC heading to 0.07 to 0.08 range and could get a pullback. Now they could get stop here or they could get stop here, right? Depending, it could get all the way to 0.08 before pulling back, or where they are right now, they're already pulling back. So what do I want to see to show me that even though they are currently pulling back, the journey is going to continue? So let's look at some signs that will prove to us that the journey will continue. So for hours, our target now will be around 0.08, more like short term, 0.08 to 0.09 short term, right? So the target is that yellow line. So even though they are currently having a pullback, the chances of continuing the move to the upside is still high, right? So I might say something before I go ahead to continue. Is before I leave this 4 hours chart, I want to also see the chances of the bears. I can't ignore the sellers. As much as I acknowledge the buyers, I have to also acknowledge the possibility of the sellers coming in. So failure, what could happen if the sell-off should continue? If the sell-off should continue, then we might be heading our way down to this point, right? To this point. Yes, we could be heading down, and that is the last surviving support. This is the last surviving support at 0.02, and hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully they keep the market structure that they are currently building, higher lows, and they keep it until they break above the current downward. Why do I say that? Because of course they have touched the top, but they haven't touched the bottom again. And if especially Bitcoin holds up the 30k and keep moving up, it's going to force altcoins to pull up. This is why I feel that we might not be breaking the weekly support. So I'm going to take this chart now to the weekly support so that you see the support I'm talking about. So let's first of all make it to the daily, then we can now graduate to the weekly support. So this is the daily, and you see how much they have completely exhausted the first pump they had. It's crazy, right? It's crazy because this particular pump has completely been exhausted, but they didn't do it in like a forceful manner. They struggled to exhaust the pump, and they are back to the very support. So the last support that is still not taken down so far is this support, that 0.02 range, right? So FIO could change direction, because why? Even though they are going down, there's becoming more struggle to go down, and the point where they are, if Bitcoin holds 31k, is going to inspire altcoin to hold their current support, at least to get a recovery. And this recovery, first resistance could be around 0. Now we're talking about not the first 4 hours. We talk about swing short-term trade. Now we're talking about swing a little mid-term trade. So we're talking about daily chart now. So when we're looking at daily chart, we could be looking at price heading to 0.13, but first of all, remember they have to break out of the current consolidation. So you need to give this chart, at least give it a break of 3 months or so. Is it too far? I don't know, but this is crypto, right? Especially the market currently is trying to stabilize itself before it can get a sharp move. So everything still lies on Bitcoin. The amount of money that enters Bitcoin has a lot to do with how altcoins are going to continue their direction of movement. So if they break out, which I do see coming, so I am more on 75% that we're going to get a reversal to the upside and things are going to start looking good for the rest of 2022. But of course, I do see more downside coming in 2023, but we're going to get that. We're going to get that. So till October to December, we could get a real recovery in this market, and we could see 0.15 to 0.16, right? So it could get a push down, right? Yes, it's going to get a push down. Now this push down could make it and stop at 0.08, which was the last point they stopped them at. But if things didn't go as planned, which means there's not enough capital not enough capital was accumulated to withstand the sellers, they could go further down and head to 0.04. But hopefully they don't. But just have it at the back of your mind that they need, depending on the accumulation that took place here, will depend on how far they will go, because accumulation is money entering the market, right? Money entering the market, and if money is entering the market, it's taking sell orders off the market. How much money enters the market will determine how much sell orders are taken off the market, and as sales orders are being taken off the market, this market price goes up to look for more sellers to take off, right? So depending on the amount of accumulation of capital that is currently entering the market, remember we say we are in accumulation zone, a very important zone, and if that happens, this will enable price to move all the way up. Now I do see price heading to 0.25, right, this point, but then I do also see real challenges along the way. The fact that they face challenge when they were going down, they are going to face challenge when they are going up. So a little patience is needed, but I do see that this is likely going to happen in 2022, likely, most likely. I'm just putting it though, but I don't want to really give you time frame, because one thing about consolidation is they take time to break, and making it very difficult to tell exactly when they are going to break. So this is why it's good to be patient, watch the chart and follow what the chart prints. So if the market start printing bullish, of course it can happen even at a very short period of time. The only thing is that we'll see it coming and we've positioned ourselves with some buy. So Bitcoin right now has a lot of say, like I said. Now on the weekly chart, which is looking at FIO long term, I do see a lot of possibilities of even going above the high. Let's say we're looking at FIO in the next 2 years, 3 years. Oh God, we are seeing FIO could be making above 0.4, right? I do see that above 0.4, but that could be all the way to 2025. You may say that's the long time, but if you are an investor into this market, I think buying it, start buying now is a good idea, right? You start buying and you add to your position as price goes your way. In fact, that is the best way to buy crypto, right? It's going to help you manage your money. So if you buy a token, you don't go all in, but in such situation you buy as price goes your way. So let's look at this chart on the weekly, and let me show you a beautiful thing currently happening on support. On support right now, FIO is printing some good candles. I like seeing some good candles on support, candles like the hammer, right? The inverted hammer. All these kind of candles I like to see. But then again, you know they will be useless if there's no confirmation. Of course, these candles also always need confirmation candle. So currently we see a clear inverted hammer printing on support, right? The following candle that followed it, of course, is just a spinning bottom. There was no confirmation. This red candle was not a confirmation candle, but this other one was an inverted hammer, which is a sign of bull pressure, a sign of bias. Remember, look at how big this red candle is, and it's funny. I said red. This green candle that caused the pump up is on the weekly. In fact, it happened in 1 week. You can see how long the candle is, so elongated. But the funny thing is, like I said, they've chopped it up pieces by pieces until they've eaten the entire candle. So just a little bit to clear the candle. But the positive thing is, if they don't clear this candle, it means that the move up is likely going to continue, because remember, this candle is more like a breakout candle. It's the first candle, right? So if they don't completely chop it off and completely consume it, then chances are high, if they stop here, then it's going to reverse the move, right? And this reversing the move could be heading back up, right? Like this, right? It could be heading back up. But that's what we're hoping, right? Long term. Now the thing is this. I am seeing this signs is a sign of buy pressure. So that move we see going to the top of this our yellow line down channel is even looking more possible based on the weekly chart. Remember, the weekly chart has a lot of say when it comes to what is going to happen than the lower time frame. So we saw it on 4 hours. Now the weekly chart is confirming by giving us this inverted hammer. All we need is that this week that is currently forming, in fact, I don't know, it depends. This week can still end up as another hammer or inverted hammer or so. But if it gives us a confirmation bullish green candle like we had inverted hammer here, we had a confirmation. Beautiful. We at least, it assures us that we're going back to that 0.08, which is our first target, right? So we, by the time we see that 0.08, then our next hope is that when they pull back, when they pull back after making it to that, they don't go below this line, right? So if they can pull back and make this broken line, first they need to break the white, right, before they can break the yellow. So after breaking the white and go back to the white, this our line right here, this horizontal line, right? Oh God, please don't mind me. This horizontal line right here is a resistance, and we need to get above it. So not only is our box calling resistance at 0.08, the channel is calling resistance at 0.08. We see that 0.08 breaking above it is going to be changing the life of the bulls, right? Remember, here they try to break it. It is a fake out because price never closed above it. So this time around, we don't want a fake out. If a candle is breaking the yellow line, we need a complete body slashing through the candle. Yeah, like the way this red slashed through this line, right? I want to see that, like the way this green slashed through this line. A full body grown candle slashing through this yellow line here will give us a confirmation. In fact, I want it to slash through the yellow line, slash through the horizontal line, giving us a confirmed breakout. If the next candle that follows it also closes above these two lines, that's above 0.08, it gives us guarantee that we are probably heading to 0.12 all the way to 0.16. So this is what I'm saying on FIO. I will definitely come to update you sooner than later. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. If you have enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to subscribe, and hey, leave your comment on FIO. I want to know what you are thinking. Do you think price is going to reverse from where it is, or do you think we're going to see more downside? I don't know, but you tell me what you're saying. I've told you what I've seen. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. Don't forget to click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post. And if you have any altcoin you want us to talk about on this crypto price action talk show, don't forget, leave it on the comment section. I read all the comments, I reply, and trust me, I will analyze the coin and I will post a video. Stay tuned as I will be returning to update you more on FIO. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. Thank you for watching. Happy trading.